enough to see the start. We are not at the start of the game. Guys, I will turn on the game sound. Thank you. I know you guys are just trying. All right. Yeah, there's a DLC for this game coming out tomorrow, chat. So that's why I want to finish this game, because I figured we'll try the DLC tomorrow as well. All right. Does it sound okay? All right. So, yeah. When we left off, chat, there was, our boss left without us on a helicopter, and then he exploded. Good riddance. Now there's this guy, like, moaning in the background constantly. Can I make this?
Fuck!
I feel like I could have made it.
Oh, don't say that. I'm here. Sus. Fucking hell. I'm losing my mind. Now fucking what?
I think we go this way.
Hello?
Kaz, it's Brody.
Jesus, the fucking chopper, man.
Aye, I saw it. Did you get to the lifeboats?
Aye, they're busted. Fucking kidal. Mechanisms are completely fucked, cheap
Didn't
bastards.
flap McCleary. Just listen, here's what I need you to do. I need you to get to the radio room and call the support ship.
It's fucked, man. The fucking crane fell on it. Hello? Hello? Shit. Hey.
It's Brody.
Hey, I know who it is, you daft prick.
Listen, that's the generator's failing. If they cut out, we'll be on emergency batteries so the radios won't work.
You're not listening. The radio room is gone.
Christ, man, there's other radios, but only one set of Jennies. If they fail, you're going to need to head down there and manually restart them.
I'm not going down there again. Fucking gibble.
Kaz, if the lecky cuts out, you won't have a choice.
You go and do it.
No, Kaz, I'm busy. You need to get to the Jennies and stop them from shorting. Got it?
Aye. Jenny's. Right. Brody. Ah, shite! Shit.
What's he busy with? Good question. All right, let's go fix the Jennies. This is a horror game? Yes. John Carpenter, the game.
Hello? Anyone
I mean,
in here?
I don't know if I agree with that, though. Oh, he's calling. I mean, it's kind of similar, but...
McCleary here.
Christ, Kaz.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see it.
This is in the wall.
Oh, easy. What are you on about? Who's here?
Under the admin module. He's close to us. He's coming back. He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me.
Fuck!
Ruh-roh, Scooby.
Shit.
Oh, is there a fire extinguisher? Oh, there is. Haha, I knew it.
Stuck fast.
Oh yeah, I have a flashlight. Sorry, a torch.
Good morning. Here is the shipping forecast for 0630 on Tuesday, December the 23rd, 1975. First, gale warnings. There are warnings of severe gales in Fair Isle, Hebrides, Bailey, Faroes, Viking, Forties. There are warnings of gales in all areas. For general synopsis at 0600. Depression North Atlantic will move east and deepen. Here is the shipping forecast for the next 24 hours. Viking southwesterly, veering westerly, gale 8 to storm 10. Very
Gale
rough
8.
or high. Rain and wintry showers. Poor or very poor. Forties, Cromarty, 4th. Southwest 7.
Yeah, I'm just
to
eating a
severe
snack
gale
while I
9.
listen to this.
Occasionally storm 10 in Forties and Cromarty. Rough or very rough, occasionally high. Wintry showers, moderate or poor. Tyne, Dogger, Fisher. Southwest 6 to gale 8, perhaps severe gale 9 later. Rough or very rough. Squally showers. Good,
What
occasionally.
the fuck happened in here?
I have some sunflower seeds.
Southerly 6.
Hello?
Oh,
Rough or very rough. Occasional rain. Good, occasionally poor.
you good?
I can't get this one open. No chance. Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh wow. Oh shit, he can get through.
What? Jesus fucking Christ! Fuck! Fucking left!
Chill there. Whew. Yeah, that's my boss. He's angry. Oh shit. It's crazy. You can't get me here. This guy is crazy. Oh no. Yeah, the DLC for this game is... Wait, is it... I thought it was coming out tomorrow. Oh, no, I got my days mixed up. It's coming out in, yeah, in 2 days. So, very soon.
Oh, shite.
Guys, does the game sound too loud? I feel like it's too loud.
Jesus Christ, fucking bastard.
I turned it down. It's good for horror. Well, I want you guys to be able to hear me. Okay, I really gotta go to the bathroom. What the hell is that? And I'm gonna get a drink. So enjoy the sound of rain, chat. I'm back. Hello. You hate summer. I like summer sometimes.
Oh, come on, you're joking me.
What's the DLC gonna consist of? I don't know. Are we supposed to drop down there?
Jesus fucking Christ!
Nope. Wait, are we supposed to like...
Here I fucking go! Shit!
Climb! Oh, I see. Oh. You died 40 times at this part. Wow. That's a lot of death. On 1.0, you could jump on the heli blades and launch yourself. Oh, really? Dang. That's cool.
Locked.
Locked. You finish endgame in Night Rain, but you missed the crater secret. Is it possible to get it? It's random, so there's no way to guarantee it. So really all you can do is just keep playing and just hope that eventually you get it. What's up, Sasuke? Yeah, this game's been really cool so far. I mean, it's like very on rails, but you know, I mean, that I don't mind.
Bruce,
It's well made.
we're trapped. What's coming in?
Bruce! It's Kaz, where are you?
Lost O'Connor. You hurt his leg. Swim.
Bruce, tell me where you are! Bruce, can you hear me? Jesus Christ. Shite!
Did I like the new Five Nights at Freddy's game? I actually thought it was okay, yeah. I really, it took me 2 days to beat the new Five Nights at Freddy's game. And the first day that I played it, when I ended my stream, I was like, damn, this game sucks ass. But then I beat it the second day and I was like, it's all right. It grew on me. Yeah, it runs really badly. That is true. Did any of you guys see the Five Nights at Freddy's movie? Just like Chronicle? Yeah, a little bit. I thought it was okay. It was like, I mean, for a horror movie, I guess it was kind of tame because they didn't want the game to be too, I think they didn't want to get an R rating on the movie. I haven't talked about Death Stranding 2 today yet. I am excited for it though. Am I finishing the Mimic game? I already finished it. I was going for true ending though. I do kind of want to go for true ending in it still. But I also could just look up the ending. But I don't know. I don't really like looking up endings in games. I want to feel like I earned them, you know what I mean? Add to the mix of games people refer to as DS2. Yeah, I mean, how many DS2s are there? I mean, for me, it's the DS2s I know is Death Stranding 2, Dead Space 2, and Dark Souls 2. Darksiders 2? Yeah, that's true. I don't know if I can walk on that. Baby Steps is the real DS2. None of us know what you mean. That's why we watch you play. Some of you surely know what I mean. Alright. Just because you watch me play a game doesn't mean you don't play games yourself.
Hold on. That's gas. There must be a valve somewhere. Gas valve first.
What the? Okay. Okay. All right. I'll pull it. Fine. That's so like troll that I feel like they could have made it work either way, but instead they just, it's like 1 pixel where you can't fit through. It's so stupid.
Finlay. Jesus, am I glad to see you.
Aye, you and all.
Fucking Rennick nearly had me. He's changed. He's fucking vicious.
Doesn't sound like it's changed much to me. Have you seen anyone else?
Brody. He sent me down here to restart the Jennies.
The generators, aye. That's where I was headed.
But the lights are on.
Right, we're an emergency battery system, no. There's not got any hold for long. The beer is taking a lot of damage, infrastructure's compromised.
That's just brilliant. So how do we get the Jennies working?
Right, well, first thing, get in that cabin over there and reset the protective relay. That might kick the Jennies back on. Go on, see what happens.
All right. No problem. I will reset the protective relay. Can I hide down here? It looks like this is a hiding spot.
Oi, McCleary! Where are you going, eh? The protective relay! And that cabin.
Finlay, my bad, my bad. I'm sorry. I was just exploring. Dude, I remember when
Ah, yeah, beauty. At least that works.
I went to
Tell
see The
Philly.
Lighthouse in theaters and they didn't have subtitles on. I think I understood like half of the movie, genuinely.
This isn't gonna open. Shit.
Doesn't make any more sense with subtitles. Whoa,
Oh,
wait.
aye, worked like a charm.
Did you see that
The
glove?
generator
What
must
was
have
that?
tripped because of a fault somewhere.
Aye, and the relay will just keep resetting until we fix it.
We'll need to restart the generator manually.
Right, where you go then?
There's two jobs here, McCleary. The Jenny's and the fault. You deal with the Jenny's and I'll find the fault.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know, but the generators are that way.
Well,
Yeah,
not
I'm super
fucking
excited
going
for
in there.
Have
RE9.
you got a better plan? No? Aye, well, I fucking didn't think you would have somehow. Fucking got on with it.
Aye, where you go then?
See? Floating glove. Mud handling.
No way through. Oh, fuck me.
I really like that you can slide down the ladders. You know, it's the little things, chat. Have I run Kazan? I never even beat Kazan, and my chat likes to complain about it. I thought Kazan had some really, really good boss fights, but the loot in the game was super boring. Like, yeah, that's really my opinion on the game. Like the Diablo style loot was just so, and it's not even Diablo style. Like you couldn't. It's just everything was so. Every item is the same. Like you didn't find cool new stuff. It's like, oh, I found something that does 2% more damage. And then you'd put that on, and then you'd find another thing that does 2% more damage. It's just like, it's like your gear is scaling to your level, which I'm pretty sure that's actually how it works. So you're getting stronger only because you're leveling up, which is then allowing better loot to drop. So you get some like slight improvement, and it's just that you just repeat that until you beat the game, pretty much.
Fuck is that?
I don't see it.
Jesus.
I really like being rewarded with not like if you have knowledge of the game, you know, one of the best things about the Souls games, right? And sorry, I'm just yapping, but one of the best things about the Souls games is if you know where to go, you can make a really powerful build. But in Kazan, it's not like you go to a specific spot to get loot. All the loot is just the same. So you just have to yeah, that's really the thing that kind of sucks. Honestly, this is gonna be... I'm gonna definitely be over the average playthrough time for this game, I think. I don't know, I'm just exploring everything. Like, I know that I could just sprint through everywhere and just try to run from, like, objective to objective, but... I'm enjoying taking my time, you know? No, I mean, there isn't really any reason to explore because, yeah, there's no, like, loot that you're gonna get for exploring. It's more so just... I'm not in a rush, you know? Enjoying getting immersed in the oil rig. Oh my gosh. Dude, dance. Dance. Do it. Oh, are my donation alerts? Yeah. Yeah, that just happened, chat. Dance, thank you for the $3,333. Hope you have a great week. Jesus, man. You've all it's casual $3,000 donation from Dance, you know? No, Dance just comes by every once in a while and supports the stream. Time to end the stream now. No. Thank you so much, Dance. God damn, dude. Yeah, he's the personal stream sponsor. Thank you so much, man. Now, Dance has been... I mean, I don't know how long he's been watching the stream for. Many years at this point, I can say that much. But, yeah, Dance has always been very supportive. Thank you so much, man.
Fuck.
Yeah, the sound design is really good. I specifically changed to headphones when I'm playing this game because I was playing it on speakers when I first started, and it just, I don't know, it felt like a game that I should use headphones on. Yeah, I can't believe Dance just came in with a $3,000 donation. Maybe I should get a luxury dinner tonight, courtesy of Dance. Wendy's? No. Lobster is just sea bug. I mean, all sea
That
bug.
must be it. A wee hut over on the other side.
French onion soup, dude.
Right, where's this generator?
There's a local place, chat, for anybody who's new here, that has this amazing French onion soup. I go there. Well, I used to go there all the time because I used to live like right next to the place, but now it's like half an hour away, and it makes me kind of sad. But I still drive half an hour to go to the place because it's worth it. Dude, what? Learn how to make it. It's not the same. Oh, dude, what in the... Okay, I was definitely not expecting that. Oh my god, man. Hope you have an amazing dinner. Enjoy. I didn't need that much for dinner, Dance. It was already more than enough. Oh my god. I can't even focus on the game, dude. I'm just thinking about the donations now. It's crazy. Thank you, dude. Now you can buy that place. I don't know about that. Maybe oh god.
Oh, damn. Jesus. Bastards, ears still working.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dan, so much, dude. I never, like, I've been streaming for so long, and whenever people donate so much money, I just feel, I mean, I know at the end of the day, people are just supporting the stream because they enjoy it and everything, but it feels wrong to get that much money, like, as I'm just sitting here playing games, man. Thank you, dude. Salad. God, this guy. Oh. Oh. He's coming in. Yeah, fistful. There was actually a super... I fucked up like really badly a few years ago. And honestly, I thought I screwed myself over. There was this viewer who... I don't know. There was this viewer who donated like $10,000. And then I like refunded the donations. But then... The money never came through from them in the first place, so I basically just gave this person like $10,000, and honestly, I thought they were just gonna take it. But they actually sent it back. Well, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It was I was like so stressed out, man. I'd never been in that position before, and I thought I had already received their money that they had sent, because they did donate, but then the donations that they had sent, I guess they were pending. I don't know. It was a really dumb, like, it was completely my fault. Like, yeah. Luckily, it all turned out okay. Yeah, I was very stressed. Thank you again, though, Dance, for nearly $9,000, dude. That's insane. I don't know where to go. Oh, okay, never mind. I do know where to go.
Bastards. Up to your own tricks, McLeary. Who's there?
Jesus, don't fuck it up now. In order. Come on.
No order. Oh, there's numbers. Oh. Ah. Oopsies.
Kaz, are you there?
For fuck's sake. Maybe no jump out at me. Have you no seen a dare?
Oh, it's that prick. He's away in mud handling by the sounds of it. Listen, we're in business.
We've gone from full power to batteries to sitting in the fucking dark. What are you all about?
Oh, and getting in a stushy is going to help us, is it? Just get that generator running. It's out on the floor. The key for it should be in there somewhere. I'll be out here looking for the fall.
We'll be looking out for a dare as well, alright? Got it.
There's major spoilers in the DLC trailer for this game. Well, I mean, I haven't watched the DLC trailer, so... What do you mean, spoilers for the DLC or for the main game? But yeah, I never watched it. My gosh, sorry, I'm still just like stunlocked by Dance's donations. Like, oh man.
Can't open it. Oh, Christ. Ha!
Alright, we gotta restart the Jenny. I gotta buy onion soup for the entire chat now. You know, I would if I could. This French onion soup is amazing.
That worked, Kaz. I can see where the fault is. It's blowing a fuse back in mud handling.
Mud handling? Is that know where a dare is?
Kaz, it's coming back. You need to move. Get back to mud handling and fix that fuse.
That would be a lot more than 10k. Probably yes. I think it might be dead.
Can you see me?
game's telling me to run, so I'm gonna run.
Jesus.
I'll be waiting.
Hey, Danger Mouse, thank you for the 4 months. See, the thing is, how would I get French onion soup to everybody's? How would I give the French onion soup to people anyways? You know, you gotta get it from this place only. It's the best. We could visit you. Yes. Have everybody in chat visit me. Just the logistics are a little
This is mud handling.
a little
Fuse box has to be
difficult.
somewhere.
Okay, am I? Oh, if I press tab. I don't know, he's kind of pissed. What game are you most looking forward to this year, chat?
Jesus.
Does Silent Hill F have a concrete release date, or is it just like sometime this year? I can't remember. I think it does have an actual release date, right? Oh god. I didn't want to do that. September. Isn't there another game coming out in September? Well, I mean, obviously there's stuff coming out in September. I just remember... He can't get through, right? Oh god, he's coming through!
keep quiet.
Who's there? Good kids. What's that now? Let's see. Who's there?
Fuck off!
You cunt. Oh! Oh my god. Holy shit. He can't get through, right?
Finlay?
Kaz? No, it's Brody. I thought it was Finlay with the lights coming back on.
It worked? Thank Christ. Finlay was here, but we get separated. You alright?
Aye. The rig isn't though. We're starting to sink.
You kidding me? How long till it goes under?
Soon if we do nothing. Look, I need you to come down to the pontoons. If we engage the tension winches in all four legs, we can buy some time.
What's the point? The pontoons, the electricity, they fucking things. It's a fucking nightmare.
What you on about? You survived this long, haven't you? More than can be said for most of the poor bastards on this rig. Christ, Kaz. Somebody up there must like you.
That's what Roy keeps telling me.
Aye. Well, he's a Barnsley fan, so he'll be used to praise.
Aye, you're no wrong there.
I'm no wrong about this either. You're the jammiest bastard on this rig, and we need that right now. So let's do this, aye?
What do I need to do?
You engage the winches in legs A and B, and I'll do the others. Easy. There's a direct route down from engineering.
Aye, alright. I'll find my way down.
Top man, Kaz. I'll give you a shout over the tannoy if we're in business.
All right. Nice. Hey, Shrek mate. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the game so far. The pontoons. Also, Dance, if you're still here, just want to say thank you again for all the donations, man. Not talking to you, boner.
Locked.
Oh. Wait, are you... Why? Oh. What? Do I need the flashlight on to pick it up, I guess?
Oh, for fuck's sake! No, no, no! Oh, Jesus. Ah, Christ.
Huh? What am I doing?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Nexus Mods was sold to someone? Really? You know, I was thinking like, I can't freaking look down, dude. I didn't know if there was ground beneath me. It was hard to tell. What the?
Don't look down, don't look down.
Oh, I see it.
For fuck's sake!
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel like Nexus Mods being bought out matters. Anyways, like it shouldn't really affect much.
Fuck. It's soaking. I need to sort it at the fuse box or it'll keep shorting out.
Just changed owners, yeah. Nexus Mods is shit. I mean, Nexus Mods is what I use for many games.
Counterweights are fucking go.
Where do you think I get all my... Yeah, exactly. What Salad said. Okay, well now... Oh, okay, right. Now the counterweight works. Which I guess will... Huh? Okay. Maybe I needed to press down a second time?
Fuck, fuck, fuck!
Ah. So many ladders, man.
Oh, thank Christ. Here it is. Right.
Remove safety lockout pin, reactivate winch mechanism. Okay.
Okay.
This is what we
Back to
did
the winch
before.
Controls.
Cats, that's it. The cable's engaged. Glad you're alright. It's, not exactly very nice down here.
There's a fucking understatement.
I've done the first cable. You need to do the same in leg B through the pontoon.
Right.
See you on the other side, Kaz.
I played Amnesia the Bunker when it came out. It was okay. Wasn't my favorite.
Fuck.
Yeah, Soma's really good.
Jesus.
Ella in this section. Was he scared of the water?
Hello? Christ, creepy as fuck down here.
What is that?
Fuck.
She's gonna be. I'm gonna find her. She's gonna be again. Campsite. Sleeping under the
God. How did they even get there?
Hello, Pete. What's up, buddy?
Oh, Christ. Fuck, fuck.
Leap forwards. That was close.
No, I do not want to go in there. Fuck. Ah, Christ, poor guy. Right. Go. Right.
Here we go. Okay. An underwater water slide. Oh shit. Man. Can't open doors with this. Oh no. I'm dead. I am dead. Yes, I am dead. I don't know, man. I don't know where to go. Maybe there was like there's probably like a hole or like a vent or something, I guess. Oh, I see it. I was blind. Aha.
Oh, shite, that was close.
Yeah, it was close. Totally didn't die before. Hey, Strawberry Blitz. Thank you for the 14 months, man.
More draining. He's done the other one.
Oh my god, I can't see anything. I don't like this.
Christ. Fuck.
Wait, am
oil.
I?
Fucking thing's locked.
I think we're on the other side now, right?
Hello? Connor. Is that you?
Go away!
Oh, Christ.
Oh boy.
Mary,
Man, what happened to you?
go and fetch Mary.
You can hear me, can you? You understand me? Fuck, Jesus. I'm sorry. I can't help you. I'm sorry.
What if he grabs me? Actually, that's fine. Why am I like this? Just testing. Playing him like an instrument. True.
Okay, there it is. Get this fucking over with.
Right.
That's magic, Kaz. We've done it. No so bad, eh?
It's been fierce.
Send the leg and I'll see you up there. Thanks for helping. We'd all be gone without you. And I mean that.
Brody's gonna leave without us. Everyone's gonna betray us. My opinion on the Scottish accent? It's fine. I don't hate it, no. Surely this thing will take us up, and we're not gonna get, like, knocked off.
This is something.
We're ascending. This is nice. Can we just stay here? Oh, the music stops. What a shame.
Can I fucking stand this cold? Jesus.
The insane flesh nightmare is kind of cozy. Hey, the music was nice. The music made me feel like nothing could nothing could go wrong. The trawlerman.
I need to get warm. Jesus.
Dude. Oh.
Christ. I need to get out of this fucking place. I need to get home. Thank Christ. I better check on Roy.
All right. Nice and toasty. How you doing, Roy?
Roy, fuck's sake.
Oh, gosh, mate, thank the Lord. I've been worried sick.
Sorry, pal, I've been out of the shop since I last seen you.
What's going on, Kaz? What happened with the chopper?
That cunt tried to go without us, but, well, it didn't work out well for him or the bird.
Bloody hell, Kaz. Is anyone alive?
Aye, I saw Finlay. We had to get the Jennies on, and Brody as well, helping with the tension legs. Do you know what? I'm a fucking rig expert now.
Told you to take no time. Yeah, I'm glad you've not been alone out there. Those two are all right.
I saw O'Connor. He's one of these things, but I thought... fuck, I don't know what I thought, but whatever it is folk are being turned into, there's something of them still in there. What's going on? Roy?
It's all right. It's just me being clumsy. Once I get my shot, I'll be right as rain.
Do you need me to come and get you?
No, I can do it. You saw this rig out? And the way to get us home. See you girls. All right?
Aye.
You're a good lad, Kaz. That's why Suze loves you. She does, you know. She really loves you. Kaz?
Aye.
Roy?
Sorry, I have to go, Roy. Will you make it to the cabins all right?
Yeah, I'm on my way now. You,
I hope Roy makes it. I don't think he's going to, though.
pray for you, mate.
Praying for you too, Roy.
Remember, Jesus loves you, Kaz. Everyone else thinks you're a con.
All right, pal. Afters.
Hey, Deemer, thank you for the 35 months. What the? Hello?
Hello? Hello? Anyone there?
Ah, here he is. Listen, I don't have long. I left away with my mum. I had to get out. She's hung at me. I'm going off my head stuck in
Suze?
this house.
Is that you?
Oh, Jesus. This one's trying to give me a kicking and all.
Gonna be a wee boxer, eh?
Aye, you wish.
I wish I could see you. You're beautiful like this.
Aye? Well, I feel like an elephant.
Christ, what is this? Suze! Suze?
Well, we're going a little crazy, but you know, anybody would go crazy in this situation a little bit. You won't? Yeah, I'm sure you wouldn't. Damn, it's getting windy. Am I liking the game? It's cool. It's very immersive. Like the sound design and creature design is really, really well done.
Does it go bigger?
The game is very, like, straightforward.
Oh, newer thing, fuck. Shite, that's oil dripping and everything. One sparking. Fuck.
We're gonna light this thing on fire. Gonna blow it up.
You have to do. I don't care.
Suze. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is happening to me? Ah. Jesus, that's not right.
Curious, how many people here in chat know how to swim? You know, there's a surprising amount of people that don't know how to swim. Yeah, well... Yeah, I know how to swim.
Brody?
But I also grew up on, like, a lake. So... that's kind of part of it.
Brody. Fucking hell, how you doing?
Better than you by the looks of it. Did you see any others?
You mean anyone alive? Well, I spoke to Roy. He's not doing great without his insulin. And I've no idea where Finlay is now.
I spoke to her a few minutes ago. She's stuck until she gets past Rennick. Or what used to be Rennick.
Feels like everybody's deed or worse. And I don't know about your side of the pontoons, but where I was, the oil tanks are burst, and I think there's a gas leak. I mean, I'm looking for a fucking bright side here.
Well, let's cross that bridge when we come to it, alright? Right now, we have to deal with the stack.
That noise! Aye, okay. Alright, the stack. I'm kind of thinking the flare shouldn't be looking like that.
No, the main feed's ruptured. It's burning out. It could get worse. And if it does, it could spread to the derrick and cause an explosion.
Right, so we're fucked. Again.
Not if we switch the flare onto the auxiliary gas pipe. If you go over to the processing quad, I can...
What? Have you seen it out there? Oh, aye, it's quite nice in here, you know. Maybe we should swap.
You can't work the controls, Kaz. Otherwise of course, I'd go myself.
Christ. All right. What am I doing?
You need to get there and find the diverter valve, main to the auxiliary. It's on the middle floor, flare side. I'll ignite the stack from here.
Right.
If I can't do it, then you'll need this.
Jesus.
I'll be on the tannoy if you need any help. Good luck, Kaz.
Great.
What the hell is the tannoy? The loudspeaker? Oh. It's what you Americans call it. All right, buddy. It's impressive how like low I am to the ground when I'm crouched. Is this what it's like to be Ella?
Somebody.
Ah, Christ.
I'm sorry. You guys are the one. That's the one that's always joking about it. I just couldn't help it. Oh shit. Buddy? Well, good thing you didn't wait at the door. Woo!
You ain't getting off this rig alive.
Oh my gosh.
Just... Oh!
What's happening? Are you alright?
I'm fine.
Pathetic.
Oh hey, 74. RKS, thank you for the donation. Lovely surprise to tune in and see you playing this. I work IT for the Chinese room and know all the wonderful devs who brought this to life. Oh, that's awesome, man. Thanks for the donation. Sorry, I don't check. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! I'm sorry. I don't check my YouTube chat that often.
Stop hiding. Fucking God.
Alright, buddy. I'm gonna need to get through here.
This looks like it.
Oh my gosh. Nah, we were doing Deathless Night Rain for a bit earlier today.
I can see the feet switching here. Glad you're alright. I've started the igniter. Give it a sec. I can't see anything.
Of course you can't, because I'm not that fucking lucky.
No, it's not working. The gas is poured back toward the rig. I'm sorry, Kaz. I need you to do it manually. It's too dangerous to leave it. You'll have to head out onto the stack and use the relighter I gave you.
Fuck.
Did you hear me, Kaz? Wave or something so I know you receive it.
Prick.
Understood. Godspeed.
I gotta do fucking everything here, man.
Okay. Divert the... what was that again?
Alright, we got this.
Jesus,
Oh god, come on, man. Run! Oh god.
Oh, fuck's sake! I'm trying to save us, you stupid fucking bastard! Let's see him squeeze through there. Jesus. This fucking flare fired. Shite. I'm doing this! Shit. Jesus.
You're supposed to feel bad for that monster?
Kaz, for fuck's sake, move! It's about to collapse!
Oh shit!
Kaz, for fuck's sake, move! It's about to collapse! Kaz!
The new Peak game? Is it multiplayer?
Can you hear me, Kaz? Please, man, hurry!
gears piece, Suze.
Oh, I'm sorry, love. I'm not being difficult. I'm just trying to pick up the pieces of your mess.
He wouldn't let it go, okay? He's carried a fucking torch for you since school. He's always hated me for being the bigger man and for having you in those beautiful fucking wains.
Oh, no. Bigger man! You are shitting me, McCready. You're the bigger man. Do you think your daughter's got more brains and bigger balls than you have? What about the kids? The flat's in your name. You go to Berlin and they just take it away.
Listen, Suze, come on!
No, you just shut it, McCready. You sit your arse down and you just listen to me.
How can we not just talk about this?
Because I am smarter than you, that's why. And I will not let you drag those girls down with you. You sort this. Whatever you have to do, I don't care. You sort this or I will leave you, you understand?
Suze, look, I'm really sorry.
Just enough, okay? Just get out of my sight. Try not to put anyone else in hospital the day, yeah? That might make a nice change for you.
I didn't mean that. Why'd you have to... Suze. Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. Jesus. Suze. What have I done? Jesus Christ. You bastard.
Damn, look at those waves. Look pretty good.
Fucking Christ. That is...
Hold on, I'm gonna take a short break for 1 minute. I will be right back, chat. Alright, I am back. What's up, y'all?
Stuck fast.
I was taking a look at that Peak game. It looks pretty,
To me.
looks kind of interesting. Maybe we could play that tomorrow. What happened to Elden Ring? Nothing. All right. Massacre at the Mirage. No, I don't think I've seen that. Did that Peak game just come out today, by the way? Well, I'm kind of curious. Oh, it's only $5. Hmm. It looks goofy. Yeah, it looks pretty goofy for sure. You can also play it solo. I mean, I guess maybe it's more fun in a group. I don't know. I wonder how difficult the game is, like if it's actually hard. Oh my god. Finlay, no way through. Engineering is full of oil. We can do this. I don't want to give up. We can get out. We lost Kaz, but we could sort this out. Don't do anything stupid, Brody. Wait, what? I'm fine. I guess he didn't know that before.
Fuck's sake!
Oh, here we go again. Oh.
Finlay, Jesus Christ.
Cleary, how the fuck are you no dead?
I thought I was.
You fit to help?
I feel like
Can
Finlay's gonna
anything
die
help?
here.
Aye, if we can cut ourselves loose and quick like, we'll buy us time, maybe enough.
Do we even know if anyone's coming?
We've been off radio for hours, so aye, I should hope so.
Finlay. Good. Let's... Kaz. Thought...
Aye, he's a walking greeting miracle. Are we doing this or no?
Aye. We float the rig. I'll dive down, release the tension cables. Hopefully we balance out, maybe end up higher in the water. I'll need you both at marine control.
It's Roy.
Hello, can anyone hear me? I'm stuck up inside fucking hot on the accommodation roof. I don't know how long I can last without insulating.
He's up on the roof. I have to get him.
No!
Is anybody out there?
You have to get to marine control with Finlay.
Please.
It's a two-man job and we don't have much time.
You think Roy does? I can't just leave him. I promised I'd get him home.
Ah, let him go.
Fine. If you want to go, go. But this place is filling up with gas and oil from the drill to the derrick. God knows where else it's leaking to. I can't recommend it.
I know, Brody. But I'm going. I have to.
Engineering's your only path up there, and it's flooded, so you'll have to swim. It's a long way. Plan each step. And if you're underwater, stay calm.
Oh, aye, that's exactly how that'll go.
Enough! You both know what you're doing, so let's go.
Right, yeah, Brody. Rod your nerve, alright, McCleary?
I'm coming, Roy. I'll find you.
Okay. I gotta swim. Wait, so there's like an underwater jump? Or how the hell does this work? What the heck am I doing? What I'm supposed to do? There we go. What? What the? It wasn't letting me dash. I don't know why. That was kind of janky. I see though. Hell, I hate this part. Yeah, probably. I don't really expect to see like an underwater monster, but maybe I will. No. Whoa.
Leaks of oil in here. There must be a leak somewhere. Fuck. That's all we need.
Oh, come on, just climb, dude. Safe to have your eyes open in this water. Well, he doesn't really have a choice. Am I gonna make this? sure what I'm missing. Oh, I see. What am I doing? I'm trying to figure out where to go, dude. Nautica 2 demo is out. Is it? Oh no, dude! Fuck off, man! I was pressing left click. I was pressing it, man. It wasn't working.
So fucking cold.
Oh, good thing there's a heater.
I'm in a fucking nightmare. This can't be real. Come on, guys. Come on, keep it together. For fuck's sake. Well, enough waiting around.
Not that cold. Sorry, I'm snacking. Oh, we're wonder where Roy is. We're back at the canteen.
Roy must have gone through the roof. Must be a way up somewhere.
What's up, Brap? This game is about us being attacked by Cthulhu on a oil rig out in the middle of the ocean.
Look at that. That is
Well, it's not really Cthulhu, but some kind of like alien monster. Spaghetti god. Oh! Am I dead? Okay. Oops. Oopsies.
fucking ice.
Wait, what? Oh, I need to warm up.
I'm in a fucking nightmare. This can't be real. Come on, guys. Come on, keep it together. For fuck's sake. My bones, well, fucking ice. Enough waiting around.
What?
I'm in a fucking nightmare. This can't be real. Come on, guys. Come on, keep it together. For fuck's sake.
What is happening? Okay, are you warm? He's warm. That's good. Hey, Seville, thank you for the 39 months, man. Welcome back, sir. Thank you very much.
Locked. Shit. Roof access. Where is it?
There are some people that were alive. I don't know if they still are. I mean, like, if the game hasn't shown them dying, then they're probably alive.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck.
What the? Oh. Thought I was supposed to drop into that hole. Attic. It's pretty safe up here, at least.
Still up.
Shit, we gotta drop down.
Ah! Oh, Jesus. Fucking poor bastard.
Oh god. Used to be an old school RuneScape stream. I streamed RuneScape like twice in my 12 years of streaming.
What the hell? How did they get
Oh, I
like
can
that?
hide in here.
Christ. Did Trots do this? Oh my god. Roof access. But I'm so close. Can I get this one open? No chance. Jesus.
I don't want to get close to that. Oh.
Move it.
Missed the Welcome to the Game 2 streams. Well, Adam... Oh, God.
Fuck.
Adam is working on a new Welcome to the Game.
Christ. Roy's insulin is here.
We're gonna help you, Roy. Oh god.
Sorry. I've got to go.
I gotta go, mate. look outside the window. Oh. Something cool at the window that I missed? Oh, I can't go back.
He up here! Roy!
Jesus, it's moving all the other place. That must be it. Thank Christ. Roy! God almighty. Roy, talk to me, big man. Come on, Roy. Roy, wake up, you prick. Please wake up, come on. Oh, you bastard. Don't leave me here. Please, big man, come on back. Christ, don't leave me. Roy, don't leave me. I can't do this, man. I'm scared, Roy. I'm fucking terrified. What am I going to tell Susan? Hey. I mean, she's going to fucking kill me, man, you know? She loved you, big man. She really loved you. So did my girls. Wait, what am I going to tell them? Oh, sorry. Your Uncle Roy's not coming home. Aye, I know. Me and Ollie. I love this big man, do you hear me? I loved him.
Man, we got his insulin and everything. I knew this was gonna happen, but thought maybe, just maybe, Roy would get to come with us.
Who's this?
It's Finlay, Kaz. You got to, Roy. Good. Look, Kaz, the water's up to admin, so I couldn't get to Marine Control. You need to try and get there from where you are, alright?
Jesus.
Aye. And that English bastard better come and all. You can't stay in that hut forever, no. Kaz? Kaz, you still there? When you're not shouting, I start to worry, like. Is Roy making a fuss? Put him on. I'll get him tailed. Kaz? For fuck's sake, what's going on?
Roy's no coming.
Ah, Jesus. Kaz, did you not make it?
Oh, it's too late.
Fuck. I'm sorry, Kaz. No. We all loved the big man, eh?
I let him down. He was relying on me.
No. No, you did everything you could. You went back for him. None of this is your fault. It's no anyone's. Look, I'm sorry, Kaz, but we need your help here. We're all fucking going down otherwise.
Aye. I want half this fucking rig.
Good. Then you need to find a way across the deck, get to Marine Control Room, call me when you get there, and I'll talk you through it, alright?
Right.
You know, it's kind of funny to think in the speedrun, well, you might just skip this part completely, but in the speedrun, you probably get this guy his insulin in like 10 minutes, and he still dies. Yeah, Looney, that's also true, but, you know. I mean, it doesn't seem like the game isn't making it seem like he died from, Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Roy does, true. Roy does, indeed.
Is it even going to hold? No, no, no! Ah, ah. Slowly now. Steady. Christ.
And just not grab the insulin. I see.
Easy does it. To go slow instead.
Slow and steady.
Fuck's sake.
I was pretty sure that was gonna happen.
Fuck, fuck, fuck! Shit! Fuck! Ah! Christ, it's way above my pay grade, this.
Tension leg cable controls must be disabled before using these switches. For all personnel have left pontoon areas.
Looks like a fucking spaceship. I'm no touching anything Finlay doesn't tell me to. Jesus, fuck. Rope.
Oh god.
No, you and all. Nice and slow. That's all right. I just need to make a call. Yeah? Aye. Here we go. Finlay. I'm at Marine Control. I'm not alone.
Fuck. Is it that bastard Derrick?
No. Jesus. It's Roper. He's all messed up.
Guys, listen to me, alright? Listen.
Alright.
We need to keep it together.
Alright, just tell me what to do.
There's only 2 switches. You just have to find them. First, find the ballast operations panel. There'll be a switch there to put it into manual control. You flip that switch. Go do that, and then I'll talk you through the next part, alright?
Aye, alright. I'll look for it.
Just not gonna get too close to him. Oh wait. Is it in here that I have to press the button?
It's alright, pal.
Oh, he's got a key.
I'll look after this now, alright?
Doing something.
Switches at manual.
Right.
What's next?
Now you flood the forward pontoon, and I mean flood it to the fucking brim.
Hold on a minute. The pontoons are already fuck full of oil and gas. This might push it all up to the deck.
We don't have a choice. The whole rig could tip over. Flooding that pontoon will at least give us a fighting chance.
What about Brody? Is he no down there?
He'll be out of there by now. He's done his part. We just have to do ours, right?
All right.
It's coming from me. Keep him away.
What was that?
It's Roper.
Never mind him. Flood the forward pontoon.
Aye, hang on.
Oh man. All right. Build the forward pontoon. Here we go.
Right. Back to Finlay. All right, that's done. Now what?
That's it. Come on. Come on.
Come on, what? It's moving. Did it work?
Fucking aye. See, that's the hopeless after all, eh?
Oh, thank Christ, Finlay. What now?
Brody's got a plan. Meet us in drill ops as soon as you can.
Okay, I'll meet you there.
We're going to be all right, Kaz.
I fucking hope so.
We're Spoiler alert. Oh my god. I don't think we're gonna be alright. Well, we might be alright. I don't know about them.
Jeez.
You've got here. Your daughter, for fuck's sake. What is wrong with you?
Fuck! Am I losing my mind?
What the? I don't feel like swearing is that big of a deal for GDQ, at least if it's part of the game. Because I mean, they've done like GTA at a bunch of GDQs, and that has plenty of swearing.
Fuck is making that noise? Shite! Shit!
Oh boy. Oh. So slow.
God, it's a fucking nightmare.
Shush! Shush! What's... Shush!
Jesus.
Oh, come on, man. The door was right there. Oh my gosh, where am I going?
Jesus.
Oh.
Think about it. Don't think about it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's fucking Rennick. Yeah, I'm not gonna help you, bozo.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus, that was...
Climb.
Finlay, thank fuck. Finlay? What's going on? What are you talking
Didn't
to?
they?
Kaz, you made it.
Brody, what's wrong with Finlay? She's freaked out here.
Listen, Kaz. There's no much time. There's oil and gas getting in here. When it fills, it will be headed right up the drill pipe.
What are you on about?
I'm still in the pontoons. I've only got a couple of minutes. I can't stop it. The rig's a time bomb now. You understand? One spark and... You need to find a way off.
Just get back up here and we'll work it out, yeah?
I can't do that.
What?
I can't get back up.
No, wait.
I'm sorry.
Wait, listen.
You're on your own now.
I'll come to you. All right?
No, you won't. You wouldn't even get halfway to me. The leg's flooded and the gas, It's not possible.
You got your dive gear?
Aye, but
So you can use that?
it's oil, Kaz. There's nothing to be done.
Don't fucking say that.
I knew the risk when I came down here.
Fuck. Can I lose you as well?
Listen, I'm alright, Kaz. I'm already back on Sky. You've never seen water like that, Kaz. Clear, peaceful. You just let go and everything's fine.
Aye. That sounds beautiful.
You go one day. Alright?
Oh, fuck that. I'm never swimming again after this.
Kaz, you and Finlay, you could do this, alright? I'm sure she wouldn't do something so stupid.
Brody, you there?
Kaz?
What's stupid? Talk to me.
It's getting higher.
Alright, I'm here, Brody. I'm not going anywhere. Alright, I'm here. Brody. Oh, fuck. Brody. Jesus. Brody. How's this happening? What are we doing now, Finlay?
Doesn't fucking matter.
He's dead and you don't think that matters?
He was always gonna die. All of them. Always. We see that. We've been fucking about with a lakey and pontoons. And we thought, oh hell. Watching our pals turn into monsters. Never once. Never fucking once have we tried to do what needed to be done.
Calm down, alright? What do you mean?
I'm ending this. Fucking now.
Finlay. No. Come back. Finlay!
You're gonna
Finlay,
fucking blow it
wait
up.
a minute! Jesus!
Alright. Alright. I'm sure it's not on a timer, guys. It's fine.
Fucking waiting.
She's waiting
Come
for me.
back, you're not thinking straight!
That's it. I'm seeing it there now.
Imagine you do take too long and, you know, you just explode.
Fuck off, McLeary. I'm not turning into one of these things. You hear me?
Damn, she's fast.
Finlay!
We have to find a way out, come on!
Wait for me. No!
You kidding yourself? It's this or nothing.
Finlay! 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 Fuck!
Fuck! No!
Jesus, Finlay. Fucking hell.
Guys,
I'm here, Finlay, I'm here.
guys. What? Who is it you hear? When it's close.
Who do I hear?
It's not your Christmas card.
I hear my wife. I just want to get back to her, Finlay. To my wains.
I hear my boy. When he was wee, you know. I hear him now.
Kate. I'm thinking Kate.
He's singing. We're not seeing him again.
Kaz, there's got to be a ship coming. You said it yourself.
Christ, Kaz. We don't want him coming. Jesus!
I'm sorry, Phil. I don't know what to do.
We've got to face it, Kaz.
What do you mean?
Ah! We can't get back. We can't. But I can.
What?
It's no going to stop with us. Fuck's sake, McCleary. For once in your life, be brave. Be brave for them. You can't save yourself. But you can save them.
Jesus, Finlay.
You want to leave it a chance? Oh. If it gets to the mainland, oh, you know I'm right. I'm always fucking right.
Oh, Christ. Christ. All right. Aye, all right. For them.
All right, well, time to blow it up. Blow it all up. Enter the derrick. So slow. Oh.
God almighty. Oh, Christ. Never had a chance. I'm sorry, Sus. I'm so sorry.
What if I don't wanna? I don't think I have a choice, chat. All right, let's do it. Getting kind of quiet.
You don't recognize me, do you?
No, sorry, love. You know me.
You could say that. It's been a long time though, Kaz.
Hold up. Susan Lafferty. Fuck's sake, is that you?
The very same. Christ, Kaz, but you look no different.
I've still got the nose, eh?
Well, looks like someone did a good job of spreading it about your face.
Oh, I can move.
Oh, the big man a drink.
Jesus, Kaz. Because I really want to be thinking about Roy right now.
He looks after me. He fucking adores you, you know.
Well, I am easy
Well,
to
I can
love,
look
Cameron
around.
McCreary.
Yeah,
I think it's moving me on its own.
Shut up, great Suki Jim.
I do though, Suze. I fucking love you. I love you more than anything in this whole world.
Du daft bomb Paul. You're not so bad yourself, all things considered.
Marry me.
You what?
I'm serious. Marry me. We make beautiful wains. I want to spend my whole life with you.
She's perfect.
She looks just like you.
Thank God for that. She's got your eyes, though.
My dad's eyes.
I'm sorry, Kaz. I know you'd have wanted him to meet her.
Nah, fuck him. The bastard wasn't interested in me. Why would he care about her?
He loved you in his way, Kaz.
I'll never leave you, Suze. I'll be at your side forever. I'm always going to be here for this Wayne.
I'm not muted. I'm not in the mirror. A vampire.
Kiss the Waynes for me. Tell them I'll be back for Christmas. I'm sorry, Suze.
Hey, Kaz. I'm sorry it's been so hard. Just wanted to send you this. To say we'll get through it. I know we will. Just take care out there and bring my beautiful big gallus man back home in one piece, okay? I miss you and I love you. And the girls miss and love you. I'm still raging at Roy, but he's a good man and I know he'll look after you. Whatever happens, we will be all right. We can weather this. Just wanted to say that to you, Kaz. To keep you safe and close and make sure you know to come home to us. I love you, Cameron McCreary. Be safe out there on those waters. My man. My love.
Well, rip Kaz. We're still alive in the DLC. Uh-huh. Yeah, there's a DLC coming out in like 2 days. It's not like we killed it. I mean, we kind of blew it up though. The DLC picks up after the credits. He learned to fly. Yeah. DLC is some years later. Wreckage crew comes across the ruins. That'd be cool. What's next? I don't know. Is there like a post-credit cutscene? This isn't Marvel. Marvel. Walking simulator. Completed the game without sprinting for more than 10 total minutes. Damn. Speedrunner, by the way, I was just taking my time, man. Didn't want to sprint everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I want to watch the speedrun. We have been streaming for like 9 hours already, though. I mean, the speedrun's pretty quick, so we could watch it. Damn, there's a lot of achievements in this game that I didn't get. What the hell? It's like 40 achievements that I didn't get. You never tried bee hopping? Yeah, I mean, I was kind of spamming jump, but like the thing is, a lot of the time you don't know where to go. There isn't that many like long pathways in this game. Oh, they added the DLC ones to Steam already? Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, damn, I missed a lot. Achievement for staring at the guy's ass in the shower. I don't know if you're joking, but no. I did look at his ass, but I guess not for long enough. If that actually is an achievement. I don't think I got it, no. I didn't want to stare at it for too long because I know Twitch doesn't want, like, you can get in trouble if you focus on sexual content for too long. It's just staying in the shower for a while. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. All right, yeah, we could watch the speedrun. I'm down.
top.
All right, let's see how broken this speedrun is. Mr. Shark Hat.
That's silly. Yeah, I am really looking forward to doing intro skip runs of Evil Within though. We just don't have to play chapter 1 at all anymore.
Right.
It's gonna be
sounds like a plan.
It'd be really nice, actually.
So jumping is just actually faster, I guess.
You alright, Roy?
Like I said, though, the time still gets added on. But it is also really good for marathon
I wonder what people
submissions,
think when they decide to
because
speedrun games like these.
timing
Well,
for
I think
that
this
is
run has like a lot of
different.
skips.
And while you do have to factor in loads, obviously, you know, it's not like we're going to be starting the marathon timer at 11 minutes or whatever.
He does it because it's cool. But yeah, I mean, I
it
guess
cuts out
obviously
a huge
it's
amount of
faster.
time from the estimate. The only, like, kind of... I mean, there's, like, a couple sort of cool things.
Just fucking cried!
But not anything worth playing that level for 11 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Like, the locker warp is pretty sick. And it's like, oh, you can move faster here by mashing crouch. And you can just, like, grab the key while you're right next to this guy. That's cool. But, yeah, I don't think most viewers will be getting anything too crazy out of that. Okay, I did not get to sprint there. That was... I think I hit it early and it didn't buffer it. So. Oh well.
I wonder how much of this stuff is still.
I really just want another run.
I feel like I don't know. Do you run this game on current patch, or do you have to be on an old patch? I feel like every game you have to be on an old patch. At least if it's actually broken.
Yeah, no, it'll be great.
Oh, it is current patch? Really?
A huge
Okay.
amount of time from the estimate, and as
That's
far as
nice.
even just grinding for PBs, it's gonna make it way better. It's a long enough run still anyway that I'm usually not gonna be, you know, like finishing a full run and then doing another one. But I mean, it does mean that it is a little bit closer to around 2 hours to finish a run.
Oh, you can't skip this cuts. Oh, right.
Mr. McClary.
But yeah, I am looking forward to that.
Happy New Year to you too, you cunt.
Oh, especially because I started resetting if I didn't get cabin skip first try. So it would make resets... It's just going to make resets way, way less painful. For me and for all of you.
So the bee hopping, it doesn't seem like you really gain speed, or you don't like progressively get faster, but it is just faster than sprinting.
Yeah, I should be able to de-rust that for tomorrow. I feel like we could do that.
Guys!
I need your help here!
Oh. Well, that's fast.
Okay. I gotta get this time, man. I have reset to this so many times. Holy shit.
Fuck.
Finally, man. Okay, we got another round. Dude, open the door. Help. Did that last time too. Weird. Okay, we're gaming though. We're out of the first 3 minutes of the game.
What the fuck is that?
Insane. Yeah. Like that was
It's only
that,
3
I feel
minutes
like that was
in.
a little ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I mean the run is pretty,
But hey, whatever.
or the game itself is pretty long considering it's very straightforward. So
Jesus.
for it to be 49 minutes, there's probably gonna be so many skips. I'm like, I mean, I know I just played the game yesterday, but it's hard for me to remember like exactly how long each area took, and like exactly what's being skipped necessarily, because well, you also go back through the areas in like multiple instances, so it gets a little confusing.
So I do actually think there's a good chance we could PB again today. Though, you know, like I said, I'm not going to do too many more runs tonight, but I don't know. That run was really solid overall, but I mean, if I just don't miss lifeboats and mirror skip, I feel like we could have a pretty good chance of beating it. I mean, if I get monkey bar skip first try, that's like almost 20 seconds, I think, right? Yeah.
You have no idea what's going on? Well, I mean, that's most speedruns.
Few other small things. Didn't get the ledge grab skip on the roof. It's like 6 seconds.
There's a lot of skips. Cool that there's a lot of like parkour.
That wasn't bad though. I am really glad that a lot of these indoor levels do have skips now. I mean, it's not even 2 skips.
Stay away!
Insane. I mean, in general, I've been super happy seeing how we've been able to break this game and progress the route and everything. Because, I mean, even towards the beginning, it was pretty clear the outdoor levels were going to be more broken, but it was also looking like all the indoor levels would just be completely glitchless, you know, like all of them. So I'm glad to see that's not the case. It was a little weird there. I should be saving time here, though. I didn't have a super.
Yeah, we beat the game. I'm just watching the speed run.
Nice. That's very solid, yeah.
Yeah, the game was good.
I need to get warm. God, stop shaking. Fuck. Stop thinking about it. Just stop thinking about it. Jesus. Jesus. Right. Right. Is anyone here? Hello? If there's anybody here, fucking say something! Trots? Trots, is that you?
Okay.
Bloody hellfire! Get in.
Yo, what's up, Axis? How's it going, dude? Yo, did you see any percent in this game is now sub Outlast wishlist as of like an hour or two ago?
Up the speed a little bit. Unless it's too fast, but I feel like the game is slow enough where you could up the speed a little bit and still like have an idea of what's going
I'm just
on.
trying a few more runs to see if I can get something going. But it was a pretty solid
ADHD.
PB. I did mess up one thing that was.
What do you mean? I
that was
just
15, 20 seconds, which kind of sucks, but it was still pretty solid.
What am I going to get down there?
You can actually jump on this pipe and then.
Nice. Okay. This actually might be on gold pace. One of those jumps.
Oh,
on
and this is after you
today, really?
you do the lifeboat thing.
It's a little bit cleaner. It's not blocking that stuff.
Man, skipping the fire extinguisher would be nice. I doubt you could do that though. I had a
Okay,
feeling
now
there
gold
was a
honestly
skip there, but I just didn't really care.
Still 106, right? Yeah. That is pretty solid.
Thought there would be more skips. I'm sure there's some pretty big ones though, considering.
Stuff is taking over. Christ.
I mean the game is fairly long for being, you know, pretty linear.
Jesus.
I mean, I wonder how the game even works in terms of... Because, like, you're going through all the different sections of the ship, but... Do the door... I don't know. I just, like... I wonder how... Like, if there's more... I mean, there's always more stuff to be found in speedrunning, generally, but... I guess I'm just wondering how, like, scripted the game is.
Oh,
There's
wow,
a few
I just realized
things
that
you
was
have to do
sub
on
8
each map to
accommodation
trigger the end door. Oh, okay, I see.
I'm starting to pay more attention to some of those times. That's probably not the first sub 8 I've gotten there, but that is pretty nice.
Don't like the sound of that. Whatever it is, I have to get across to the bird.
Getting tempted? No, I'm just curious. I just like routing. Oh.
Nice. Nice.
Dang.
Okay, you cannot do that, I don't think. Man, yeah, they did change that for sure. I don't know, I'll have to mess with that more. On current patch, you can just crouch through there, but on this patch, they made it so I think we have whatever, alright. Yeah, I do want to mess with that more, because you mentioned that, and there might be a way to get around it still. Alright, I don't know if it's gold, but it could. That would be cool.
That's such a big skip in that section.
Okay, so I didn't quite lose 20 to Monkey Bar skip.
Any plans for the new hardcore difficulty in Kazan? I mean, I never beat Kazan in the first place, but probably not. I don't know. I mean, I just really don't like the loot system in Kazan very much.
We should go back and get them.
Like hell we should. You shot them. They're gone. Get a move on.
Archie! Rennick! We have to give them more time. You told them to come. Rennick! I'm right here! Archie!
Wait, so this is where I... This is where I ended after the first day.
Don't say that. Who fucking what?
I see. I guess there's a lot of cutscenes and NPC dialogue and stuff early on, so... The first section casually takes a while. What level were my 2 characters in Hardcore WoW? I don't know, my shaman was 60 and my druid was like 50 or something.
Good morning, everyone.
What the fuck happened in here?
Hello? Jesus fucking Christ! Fuck! Fucking
Alright, so this is the part with... Part with boss, man. Run looks very straightforward. Yeah, I mean, it's... There has been quite a bit of, like, parkour and like, platforming skips that he's done. But yeah, I mean, some sections do seem fairly straightforward. Am I jumping into more Night Rain? I have been streaming for nearly 10 hours. So, no, I will not, will not be jumping into more Night Rain. Finish. Oh shit. Yeah, finish RE4 permadeath after this.
Fuck! Ah! Fuck! Stop! Ah! Come on! Ha!
Damn, I might be losing like 4 seconds here. Oh, that's actually maybe like 5. Okay. Which is crazy because that wasn't even like that bad, but I got a really good segment of the
I don't know.
It's honestly wild that that whole section is possible, Mr. Smig. I agree. Are you? I didn't know you could get that there. What the fuck?
I'm not sure
insane.
how much time that just saved. But... Oh, he's here now.
Alright, yeah, I'm losing a little bit of time here, but like, again, I had a really strong segment. I had a really good early game in general, to be honest, so like, the fact that I was 5 seconds ahead is kind of crazy. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Up until after this split, my PB was like very solid, and then starting in the next like 2 or 3 splits, I started to fuck up. In fact, I would say, yeah, after this split, the next 3 are our biggest time saves.
Finley. Jesus, am I glad?
Like an intended, unintended path, yeah. It is pretty wild that it's possible. All it would take is like one little part of that to be different, and you just wouldn't be able to make that work.
Why that noise keeps happening? That's when he gets a red split.
I think it's really cool too. Like the other helicopter skip variants were cool, but that one is my favorite for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a sound for red splits. I did have one for golds, but that was it. Can speed it up more for this level. Is this level just like no skips? Like, because it does, I mean, it does seem like it's like 6 minutes long, so.
Are you kidding me? I tried the wrong one.
Jeez, don't fuck it up now. Come
Cat,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I remember this. Yeah, it seems like. Yeah, you can't just skip to like later sections of the game and because the areas are all kind of like connected in a specific way, I guess. Or well, maybe you can in some parts. I don't know.
guys, I can see where the fault is.
You basically just go there to do the relay thing. Don't like Shark does the skips in this run. Oh, really? Like, how small are we talking about? Like, just a few seconds, I guess.
Fuse box has to be somewhere.
I almost thought he was gonna be in a different spot there and get me. That would have sucked. Alright, we're good.
What do you just do?
Fuck off.
I almost thought he was gonna be in a different spot there and get me. That would have sucked. Alright, we're good. I almost thought he was gonna be in a different spot there and get me. That would have sucked. Alright, we're good.
Why not be on the easy difficulty the whole time?
Finley?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's faster. I'm just personal preference. Does the AI like work differently depending on the difficulty? I guess.
Nice. We're keeping this very close.
Hmm.
All right, this is one of my. Like I said, this split and the next two are pretty big time saves. Or just potential time saves, I should say. Let's see.
Okay. Guessing that got him a checkpoint. Time to do it again. Oh.
Okay, that is big, because I messed that up really bad last time. Okay, nice.
Dang.
Okay, back to the winch controls.
It's weird how sometimes you can drop like so far and you don't even get a like a falling animation.
Okay, that is big, because I messed that up really bad last time. Okay, nice.
Okay, back to the winch controls.
Yeah, I know he fell onto an invis wall, but sometimes you fall like 2 feet and your character's like, oh, and then you get stunned for 2 seconds. But right there, he didn't get stunned at all.
Cool.
Nice sound. Yeah, the falls in this game are so weird.
If I did actually get pontoon skip first try here, it would be 48 pace, but we're not doing that. That was good though too. Okay, so yeah, we should be saving time here quite a bit. Honestly, there's probably golds.
Some places you can land that just don't apply fall damage. I see.
Well, and I could also fall in the hole and get stuck in like B, but let's hope that doesn't happen.
Oh yeah, here was like the part where it told me about leaping forward, and I was just like, I don't know what they're talking about. There's an out of bounds you could do here that skips this area, but it's a 1-frame jump. Yikes. Is it really that precise? That's crazy.
He's like, I do not want to go in there, and I'm getting in there before you can even say that. He doesn't really have a choice.
Nothing for the Zip Master. I mean, depends what the game is running at, though. Because, I mean, I guess you could maybe lower the FPS to make it easier to hit, but maybe the physics work differently, so you need to be on high FPS. Who knows?
Wow,
Why don't you try it and find out?
I mean, it makes sense. I don't know. This is not a scroll, I'm just messing around.
Spend 8 hours trying to zip. Yeah, zips were insane when Elden Ring came out, man. Have a good night, Antagoniste.
Still the other one.
Technically, RE9 can have zips since they're in 4R. Nobody has figured out zips in RE4 Remake, though. Like, nobody understands them. I feel like there's a way to actually do them consistently. Because it's happened to people too many times. It's just nobody understands how. I mean, people figured out how to kind of replicate them, but it was not with any form of consistency. The thing is, most people in the RE community don't like glitches, so there's just nobody really testing. There's really not many people testing
I feel like this
the zip glitch, like, at all.
Don't get around in just yet.
But hey, we'll see. We'll see for sure in a little bit, but I think it does. I feel like it does. If not, we're still saving a lot of time.
Oh. I see.
We are kind of gaming right now, I will say. I actually was trying to find some weird, like, interact prompt stuff.
People were screaming for a glitchless category before tech was even found. Yeah, I mean, there's only like one glitch in the RE8 run.
I didn't realize the frame rate
with the pipe bomb. Well, actually, that's not true. There's like 2 or 3 skips.
Don't I look up? Yeah, so this is very solid. It's basically the same pace I had in my TV, but just I didn't fuck up this level.
RE4R actually had a good amount of glitches.
Awesome.
A nice gold, nice
Good luck on the
gold
couch.
sound.
Well, I hope you had some nice rest after work. And yeah, hope you've been enjoying the lurk.
Can I fucking stand this cold? Jesus.
Yep, you got me. Wow, it's actually crazy how close this like almost still is to 48 pace already.
Has it got bigger?
I mean, I basically would have to build like everything for it to happen.
I
this
like
round, but,
runs
like,
with glitches more. I mean, glitches can be okay, but a lot of the time glitchless
honestly
is
is
just...
possible without pontoon
It's like
skip.
playing the game normally, but
Because
fast.
there's a few like little small skips and things I don't do. Oh my god.
And I
got
just-
burned. What's gone? Okay, that's really good actually. Yeah, I'm just thinking like, damn dude, adding a few like
But
small
it
strats here and there to get some of these
depends...
segments, I feel like
It
I could get
depends
48
how
now.
glitchy it is.
Brody! Brody! Fucking hell.
I mean, glitches can be fun, but they can also be kind of shitty. Some glitches can be just, you know, so annoying to do,
That was really good.
that the run just becomes, like, not very fun because of it. If they're, you know, too precise or...
Oh my god, dude. We're kind of cooking right now, man. This really is just looking like PB pace from before, but just not fucking up the stuff I did in late game. We'll see if we can continue that. Dude, if I get monkey bar skip, we're actually like doing really good.
That was a pretty big skip that he just did, I think.
Stupid fucking bastard! Let's see him squeeze through there. Jesus. This fucking flare fire. Shit. I'm doing this! Shit.
Do not touch me, Derrick. Alright. He can still kill you there, I have learned that. Not fun.
Guys, for fuck's sake, move! Someone take a look! Guys,
Damn, wait, gold? Big gold here? Dude, wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa.
The zip category is down to
Oh, wait, I forgot to
342.
take that.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
4
insane.
4 or 5 second gold. I didn't realize I had that much time to save there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dude, is 48 possible this run? No fucking way.
The devs
It
for
would
this
be
were
really tight. I'd
teaching
have to,
people
like-
how to do an easier version of that skip to fix the
To be honest, I'd
soft
have to go for
lock
the
on
shitty skip here, and I don't know if
1.0
I'm gonna
while
do
they
that.
worked on a fix.
I don't think I'm gonna risk
Oh,
it.
so the devs are actually cool with speedruns. That's nice.
That, it was already gonna be ass. Double goop. I'm not gonna lie, I've never gotten that before, but I'd try it. Also, welcome back, Looney.
I mean, it's
Bro,
I
48 is
figured
possible without pontoon skip. It's actually crazy.
I figured the devs were cool with
Okay,
the
I just gotta get monkey
speedrun
bar skip.
considering current patch still has
I'm gonna save
everything.
fucking 15 seconds here if I get it.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
There we go, dude. Okay. God, it's not even like, it's one of those things, like, it's not that hard, but it's so easy to do myself. Alright.
Will I be doing a speedrun?
Nah, this is wild.
I don't know, man.
Pace right now.
Honestly, with Death Stranding 2 only being like less than a week away now, or I think it's around a week now, right? With the early
If I knew how
access
to do
stuff.
the no death warp, this actually would be like
So,
solid 48 pace right now.
I just don't really know if there's enough time to like really learn a
I
run.
gotta say it.
By the time I'm actually like ready to do a run, I don't know, man. I don't think it's 2 weeks. It's the 24th for early access. Yeah, the DLC could maybe be interesting. That's true. I'm definitely gonna. I mean, I'm excited to play the DLC for this game. And yeah, that could be nice to try to run that because it'll probably be shorter. And yeah, like you said, I guess it's kind of like everybody's gonna be on the same level, so that'll be fun. If I mean, I don't know how many people would be running the DLC. Maybe the DLC won't be a very interesting run, but it'd be fun. No, Death Stranding 2 is only on PS5 initially. Yeah, this run honestly seems fun. It doesn't it's not too long either, which seems nice.
Get up there, dude. Come on. Dude, get up there. So. Alright, I literally would have golded that, I think, if that climb at the end was good. But whatever.
Forget about Death Stranding 2.
Oh my god, we're at 48, dude. I mean, it wasn't probably gonna happen this run anyway, but like...
Wait, what the hell
I
was
literally
that?
had to like match all my golds from this point on. This is actually a really big DD pace, though. Yeah, I actually really don't... I think 48 is pretty doable without pontoons. Do the bombs. I mean, even with these segments, I feel like I could get a clean enough run that gets it, but...
Yeah, I mean, I could tell he skipped heating himself up,
I would
guess.
probably still want to add a few, like, small strats.
He just, like, interacted with it a bunch of times in a row or something. Oh, there's a certain pixel to unlock it without using the heater. Oh, interesting. That's so weird.
No, 47, yeah, you probably do need pontoon skip for that, if I had to guess. But yeah, I don't know, that's at least, assuming there's no other strats by the time I'm going for 48, I think I'll probably say pontoon skip for 47. Unless I decide to just go for 47. But no, I think it would still be really hard, though. 47 would be crazy.
Yeah, I see, Looney. That makes sense. That's kind of what I figured.
But this is a much more solid run, though. If I can not lose a crazy amount of time from here to the end, I'll be super happy with this run.
In the helicopter level, you can crouch and open the door back to admin. Yeah, I see. That's so yeah.
I feel like I'm losing a lot of time.
You're just like skipping over the thing they put there to prevent you from opening it.
Why is he so angry? Just in a bad mood, I guess.
You open a lot of vents. Yeah, there's a lot of like.
Hey, we do Roy crawl skip. 48 easy, dude.
There are a lot of, you know, repetitive animations in this game.
Roy, he up here! Roy!
Jesus, he's moving away.
Oh, I got out of bounds too. I see.
Roy, talk to me, big man. No, phone. Better answer.
He didn't grab it. Yeah, he doesn't need it.
I mean, yeah, actually, if I did hit that... Yo, can I move, please? Okay. If I did hit that, it probably would be it.
Rest in peace, Roy.
I hope nothing bad happens to Roy, yeah. Dude, what the fuck? It's like not what I want. Can you grab it, Kaz? Holy shit.
Oh. Time loss.
Starting to bleed some time to silly things. Alright. Is there a consistent way to get this ledge grab skip at the end here, or do you just have to hope the bridge is in a good spot? Height-wise. I kind of would like to get that. That'd be nice. It's like 6 seconds if I don't get it. I mean, I didn't get it in PB either.
Do an RE5 co-op run.
As long as
I mean, if they do RE5 remake, you bet your ass I'll be.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like you could
be doing co-op RE5. I don't know about running the OG though. The OG kind of controls like. Not very great. I mean, it's okay. I don't know. I imagine if you play, if you speedrun RE5, you probably have to play it like completely vanilla, right? So
Damn. Alright.
use controller.
Could still be sub 4920.
Yeah, when I played with Lobos, I used keyboard and mouse.
Yeah,
I
feel like
hate aiming
more
at stuff with a controller, dude. It's horrible.
Oh, you think right? Oh, okay. Because I usually go left.
Finley. Emma. It's alright, pal. Here we go.
I'm not a console hate. I'm not hating. It's just I prefer using keyboard mouse.
Yeah, these will definitely be tough splits to run against. So yeah, next time I run this, I think I am gonna try to like, add at least some kind of new strats, because like, bro, that Adair split was cooked. I golded that by another 5 seconds as well. I gotta check what segment time I actually got. I think it was like sub 310 maybe, or something.
Alright, that's done.
That's gonna be hard to match.
That's it. Come on, come on.
Come on, what? Smooth it. Did it work?
Fucking aye. See, that's the whole with after all, eh?
Oh, thank Christ, Finley. What now?
Brilliant plan. Meet us in drill ops as soon as you can.
Okay, I'll meet you there.
We're going to be alright, Kaz.
I fucking hope so.
Damn, I lost like 13 in that level. Oh, because I fucked up the ledge grab thing. Yeah, with the climbing thing. Damn, it's a lot. Alright. Let's close it out. So yeah, we did need some time to some silly things again at the end, but...
Yeah, I mean, the keyboard mouse support in RE5 is horrible, to be fair.
I don't remember if I've checked every single...
So, I mean, I could see controller being better.
Actually get it to open, but one thing we should double check is just other random doors throughout the levels, because there could be another one or more somewhere that just open. All my time save's gonna be in fucking roof, dude. That's crazy.
I do wonder how much...
Not even with Roy crawl skip, man. Literally just climbing up and then, yeah, getting the ledge skip.
I feel like the speedrun scene for this game isn't super crazy or anything, so... Like, it makes me wonder how much... if there's other stuff to be found. I'm sure there probably is.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, if I just kept playing more, like if I kept grinding, I probably could get a 48 with this route, but it would be pretty tight. Like, I couldn't really mess up, like, anything. But yeah, I'm probably not going to do that right now. Like I said, I think we're still going to do some Evil Within tomorrow, but once I'm able to, I would like to come back to this again soon. I know, it sucks. Yeah, there's so many places to get out of bounds in this level, but none of them are fast. I think it's really just because that one area having all that water and you're not being able to just like sprint over to the next area because swimming is so much slower. If you could just hop through that area, I think it would be faster.
Break out of a locker without cheats, you'd save minutes.
And like I said, who knows? There could be like a hole somewhere in this area.
What, like the lockers
can
make you go out of bounds or something with cheats? Or what do you mean?
The current is also very strong.
Oh, I see. So like if you were able to like get the game to make you... I see, yeah, I see what you mean. When you're in the locker, you become like really tiny.
Honestly, if you could skip getting grabbed by Rennick or something, that'd
But
be cool.
when you exit the locker, it removes that state. If there was a way to like keep it.
Oh, by going the other way, okay.
No, I never ran an Alien Isolation. I remember... I've seen the run, though. Very, very broken.
I haven't looked to see if you can get out of bounds in this section here with the water. I mean, I don't know what you would do with that, but could be fun to try just for fun.
There's no way to clip through walls. A small hitbox would be very huge. Yeah, I mean the animations seem like so scripted. I don't really know how you could ever like clip through a wall in this.
You can go like half out of bounds there. Okay. Oh damn, not even sub 49.20. Yeah, that my biggest time loss actually was the roof of all levels. That is hard to believe. All right, double goop boost, 48. Let's go.
Goop boost.
Brody, what's wrong with Finlay? She's freaked out. Brody. Ah, fuck. How's this happening? What do we do now, Finlay?
Doesn't fucking matter.
He's dead and you don't think that.
Get it,
Oh,
but I think 10 seconds right now where
Finlay, wait a minute. Come back.
that
I'm
like
not
10
thinking
seconds
straight.
would be really nice.
Oh, really, Looney? That's interesting.
I don't know if that includes goop boosts or not, too.
I assume if you jump as
Right,
you,
imagine I get the no death here and the double.
I'm sure you've tried jumping as you interact with a locker, and that doesn't work. Hey, El Nombre, thank you for the 27 months.
I'll at least try the single goop boost here.
The goop boost.
Jesus, Finlay.
There's also air swimming. Swimming in this game is so slow, though, and well, I assume you still have
Oh wait, I kind
the
of
breath
got it.
timer.
I got it like a little bit, right? Oh my god, help! Don't die. I can't see.
God almighty.
I can't see where I'm going. Help! Dude, I thought I was dead. I won't lie.
Had a chance.
Do we save time?
You're so slow in this part.
Surely. Well, hey man, GG, we didn't die. I actually thought I was about to there.
So sorry.
Yeah, GG. Yeah, I am much happier with this. There were a couple splits towards the end there that we kind of messed up a bit, but definitely like way better.
You do that boost correctly, you can get like super
Gold?
fast. Oh, really?
Gold by like 3 seconds. That's crazy. Let's go, 49.17. I did get the sub 49.20. Okay. Dude, I actually saved like 3 seconds with that boost. I'm pretty sure. That's crazy.
Susan laughed.
Are you gonna try to play Death Stranding 1 before the sequel? Maybe. I'm not sure. All right, well that was a cool run. Yeah, that honestly, it's a pretty cool run. A lot of like little skips here and there. Honestly, I was expecting it to be. I mean, I was expecting it to be like a little bit more broken almost, but some people wanted to end the run at the final door. Oh, yeah, that's probably for the best. It's pretty, yeah, for sure, Looney. That's true. I like that the devs, you know, there isn't just because if there was more invisible walls all over the place, I feel like so many of the skips just wouldn't even work. So it is nice that, you know, I'm sure there are still a lot of invis walls around, but you can kind of you can parkour on like a good amount of stuff. A lot of the skips don't look like skips if you aren't familiar with the game. Yeah, for sure. That's that's kind of true. Yeah.